Welcome to Loudmouth Live. This is Gio's forehead coming to you, reporting live from my room. Let me fix this stand. Should have done this before I started. I planned that. But yeah, welcome to Loudmouth Live, number 42. Got another special guest for you guys. He's a New York comedian. Dude, he's a hustler. What did I say? Fucking shit, man. I kind of fucked up the intro. I just took a fucking fat ass bong hit before I started. This is hence loud mouth. You know what I mean? I'm fucking loud and obnoxious. I'm a pothead. But let me introduce your guest. New York City comic. Dude fucking is all over the place. One of the hardest working dudes. I love watching stories. Seems like an intelligent dude. So I'll show some love to Marcus Cardona. See how long this takes. Should have put my headphones in. I think I'm just doing this every time now. I'm forgetting my headphones.
Yeah, what up?
What's going on, man?
Nothing much. I appreciate that intro.
Yeah, I swear, I have everything planned out, and I'm like, yeah, just, fucking smoke right before I start. I used to smoke during it, but I can't smoke in this house, so.
That's good, dude. You gotta play the game.
Yeah.
What up, Reggie Darby? Welcome to Loudmouth with Gio Perez. Marcus Cardona, episode 42.
Yeah, man. We got Alabama people popping in here showing love.
That's cool. I like this. This is fun. Yo, what's that painting you got behind you? That photo?
Oh, no, that's a picture. That's a picture of my daughter for her baptism.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? It's that Catholic. Yeah. You're Filipino, so you're Catholic, right?
I grew up
Catholic.
Yeah, grew up Catholic.
I have to say grew up Catholic.
Yeah, I know raised Catholic works, man. That's part of the game. Like, they gotta. I'm like, in my mind, if I ever have kids, I'm gonna be religious for the first half because you gotta have you gotta instill some fear.
Yeah, you gotta lie to them early on. You know what I mean? It's all lies. You gotta lie.
They'll figure out the truth eventually.
Yeah, lie to them about everything. Santa, fucking Easter Bunny. And then when they grow up and then you just tell them about 9/11 or Jeffrey Epstein, killed himself. They're like, I don't believe you guys. You guys are fucking liars. You question everything because you're lied to from an early age,
No, you gotta instill that conspiracy mind because I'm like, it's hard to teach a kid, if anything, about, a lie in general. But I'm like, it's good to know early on. I'm like, New York, I like New Yorkers because I'm like, everyone knows, a hustle's a hustle because I'm like, you gotta know what a scam is. Because I see, I like to think that I have a lot of intelligent friends, but then I'll see one of them, have, a timeshare or, something like that. I'm just like, yo.
Yeah, we're going on our third cruise this year.
Yeah. So I'm gonna let you take this away, man. Thank you for having me on Loudmouth. This is cool.
Oh no, man, this is. I literally have some generic ass questions, but then it usually just goes off track because I have ADD, and you know what I mean. I like picking people that I've had conversations with about comedy or just about general shit that I'm like, all right, this guy, you know what I mean. This guy got to get the gab too.
I'm a big shit talker here.
I had one person on, and funny dude, real funny, but he was giving me one word answers, and it was I got through the questions in the first 5-10 minutes, and I'm just trying to freestyle it from there, but it's just when you get one word answers or. Oh yeah, I just do it for fun. Man, what do you want for comedy in the future? I'm just doing it for fun. You know what I mean? I know that, but what else do you want? You know what I mean? Obviously it's fun. I wouldn't be doing this shit for free if it wasn't fun. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But there's also a shit ton of things I want to get out of this. You know what I mean? I want to fucking write a fucking cartoon. I want to have my own cartoon. That's one, or comic, and I already have the basis. It's a loudmouth character. But I ain't gonna make this about me. What is your kind of your main goal out of this? What do you want to see? Where do you want to be at?
For myself or just comedy in general?
Well, both. Start off with what you want for yourself, and then what you want for comedy in general.
For myself, because like, yeah, I'm like anyone who follows me on Instagram, they know how hard I lean into like how commercialized comedy has become, especially like in New York, because like there's so many club scenes and stuff like that. So, and like the thing is, it's kind of it's the same reason why we constantly have like all these reboots of like old movies is because it's like bookers and stuff like that, or any kind of venue, they kind of see older comedians who've had success, but then anytime anyone kind of like edges that bubble, you kind of like you don't know, there's like a million George Carlin-esque comedians, there's a million Bill Burr-esque comedians, there's a million like awkward comedians, there's like, but then like once it's something that's not necessarily like in the club scene, like there's not a lot of clubs that invest in those comedians. It's kind of just like how invest in like reboots because they've seen previous success with similar type genres. So that's how I look at comedians now, because like that's it. Like I don't want to be producing, like I don't want any of my comedy to be hack. And like everyone knows what hack is. I'm like like comedy I think changes now a bunch because like I've been talking about it in my set, it's because of the internet. Like sometimes I'll see a meme and I'll be like, that's like a funnier image than like a whole person's set. Right. But at the same time, I'm like, how do you make live comedy entertaining again? And it's just like you need to have all the elements of what a set is, because I'm like, as soon as it's hard for me to see a comedian who just does like set up punchline. I'm like, set up punchline, set up punchline, and I'm like, if it's so clearly like narrated, I'm not engaged in it. But if you're like a storytelling comedian, you can be like involved in your narrative, then I enjoy watching that, because I just see I can't predict where the joke's gonna happen, and then when it happens, it like hits. So but for me, I'm like, I just don't want to. As soon as I hear someone with like a similar enough joke, I'm just like, all right, take it out. But I'm like, I just don't want jokes that are like imitated, especially like memes. Memes. Every time I see I posted recently, I was like, the hardest thing about being a Filipino comedian is I have to watch all Joe Coy's sets and see what stereotypes he's taken, because then I'm like, I gotta take all that shit out now. Yeah. But same thing with memes. Like every time I see like a meme, I'm just like, is this one of my jokes, or am I so good? That's it.
You see something that's like similar to it, and you're like, oh man, I can't, Or like I've been saying before, I'll be at mic sometimes, and it'll be like so dead, and like nothing. I'll just like that, and then I'll be on my phone sometimes, and I'll look at a meme that'll be so funny that it'll bring the energy up in the room for me. Like and then next thing I know, I'm just like, now I'm listening to the comic. Or sometimes I'll laugh at a meme, like almost it's almost while like a comic said something that was maybe kind of funny or was funny, but I'm not paying attention. But everybody laughs, and like I would probably hold in the laugh, but now I'm hearing everybody laugh. It kind of lets I've released laughs off of watching a meme during a
yeah. That's so true.
Or I'll think of something that I think is funny. And I'll start laughing at what the comic's saying. But in my mind, I was like, did I just laugh at like some dumb shit that he just, it wasn't even like a punch. Sometimes I just laugh out loud. Yeah. I was like, fuck, man. Because I'm the worst. Like I'll be, have you ever like tried to act out something but practice it? Like I'm going to practice it in my head, but end up actually doing it. And then you end up like, looking like you're talking to yourself. In public. Yeah. Or you're like making a face, you're off somewhere and you're making a weird face. You're like I'm working on this act out. And next time I don't realize I start doing the act out. And I'm just like, oh shit. I'm like, oh, well.
I think I just 100%. Like I definitely make the faces. Yeah. Oh, dude. Luckily it's New York, so I'm just like, I'm like, you don't look that much crazier than anyone else around you.
Yeah. It was crazy, like how the looks. I used to get crazy looks in Alabama, especially when I had like my hair out. Yeah. It was just like, it was from everybody. It wasn't just one. It was every single person. And I come by here, I'm just like, another guy.
No, but you're iconic now. You got the Snoop Dogg like
Bone Thugs, Bone Thugs.
Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Yo, people think it's dread. Some people, like one of my boys, he came home from jail. So I haven't seen him in like 5 years, and he called me and we're talking. He goes like, "Yeah, I seen a picture on Facebook, man. We got fucking dreads now. What's up? Why don't you get dreads?" I'm like, I never got dreads, man. I did that shit.
That's funny though. Hey, how about so wait, no. So keep going with the dreads. So wait, what?
Oh no, I thought about getting dreads, but then I don't have all my hair grown out. Like it's just like the top.
Yeah, you got like the undercut going on there.
Yeah, so it'll look really fucking terrible, and like my hair's not thick enough. And I was just like, I might cut off my hair one more time. I might go with the baldy back again, and I might grow it all out and then just dread it one last time. I might be the old guy. The old light-skinned guy, the old light Dominican guy with a big-ass forehead and dreads and fucking jean jacket under the leather jacket.
Yeah, you gotta get the flags everywhere, all over it, decked out.
The flags and the jeans with the rhinestones on the back, and the white pointy shoes with that Hardy hat.
So how about you? Because so I guess so I've been doing comedy for 8 years, but I started in the New England scene. How about you? So. Like how long you been doing comedy? Because I know you're from you're from here, but you did in the South, right?
Yeah, I started in Alabama, February 2018.
Okay, hell yeah.
So I'm coming up on my second year right now.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of grateful. I'm gonna say this.
Yeah.
And I want to see what your opinion is on this. I started in the South, and I feel like if I would have started in New York, I probably would have not kept going. I probably would have I probably would have had my first set somewhere shitty, like any shithole open mic, and then just said, "This is terrible. What am I doing?"
Yeah, 100%.
And also, it was just like the fact that I wasn't doing nothing and had like literally just my cousin and my aunt out there.
Yeah.
And they were busy and they lived in different cities, and so I started whatever, and it went pretty good. My first set went pretty good. Like my first 3 sets went really well, and that just kind of fucking launched me. And then like there were certain things that were going on in the open mic scene that I was just like, all right, I could probably deal with this for a little bit, and it kind of prepared me for the shit out here with 10 times worse.
Yeah,
50 comics, bucket list, and over there it's an actual list, and it's the same thing. That I wouldn't say rigged. But it's just in preferenced order, you know what I mean? And, they'll put the comics that have been going there for a while first, and if you're new, you'll get a certain spot. And if you don't like you go last, And I used to get, like, bumped a shit ton. And luckily, I watched a thing about it.
Yeah.
Also, like, I was getting booked more out there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I was doing fairly good for a newer person, and there's not that many comics. Like I was getting a shit ton of shows, so that kind of kept me going. But I felt like if I would have been out here, it's a lot more rough. I would have been like, "Oh fuck this shit! This is terrible." I would have been one. Yeah. It would have took me one time at the Creek in the Cave getting flooded, and I'm like, "What the fuck am I doing in my life?" Like,
but you got that ambition. It's kind of like the immigrant ambition that everyone has. Because I'm like, you're not from the scene. Because I'm like, every now and then I meet New York comics, and I'm like, born and raised, they've been doing comedy in New York their whole lives. And I'm like, why aren't you better?
Yeah. Why are you not past somewhere?
Yeah. Why aren't you crushing it?
All right, now New England, right? They say Boston has one of the fucking strongest scenes as far as like becoming a fucking like being a beast. Like you look at Joey Diaz.
It used to be like it used to be like that. It used to be like that, and that's just because it was hard. Like you get I'd say the hardship of a smaller town or smaller scene really make sure that you're good for like the big city. Because like when I'm in the city, like it's funny, like when I talk about how commercialized comedy has become in New York, like if you go to any other scene, like at like mics and stuff like that, you genuinely see like a comedy community. Like everyone's cool with each other, everyone's like fine with it. Where people are having fun, people aren't like concerned about like, you know, I'm gonna go hit up the next spot. There's no genuine connection with like doing a mic for comedians who've seen you a million times, and if they don't like you, they're not gonna stick around. While if you do comedy in like a smaller scene, like, you know, they're more tight knit, and then like you actually get criticism because people are gonna listen to your set, and like you can do a new set, because like in New York I see like a million comics go through and then they just repeat the same set, and it's like it's not gonna get funnier the millionth time if you're not gonna add anything to it. Like it might be funnier because you're friends with more comedians, but it doesn't necessarily mean the bit's gonna become funnier, because I'm like, and that's it, because like because of like how like, you know, how many scenes there are in New York. It could be a club, alternative scene, like, you know, and then there's like, you know, there's like the white rooms, black rooms, like, you know, LGBT rooms. All it is just you get like all these dumb bubbles of comedians who like their jokes only work for those audiences.
Yeah, you said one thing that fucked my head up, right? Because I've been out here since June, right? And I'm thinking now, I'm like, am I getting funnier or am I making more friends out here?
Yeah.
Am I making more friends? I'm like, oh man, I killed it. I was like, nah, this is just a room full of people I'm cool with.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, we got some actual feedback. Bile Cradley is like so New York comics are in general stronger because they do more spots and write way more. I'd say if anything, we like do more spots, we get that exposure.
I think it's more spots.
I'm like writing more. I'm like I used to write Cabin in the Woods. I used to write Cabin in the Woods like a crazy person. I'm just like, oh my god, these ideas. Like every comedian should like isolate themselves for a minute and then write. But yeah, no, Bill,
dude, I bought this shit and I just been fucking losing my mind. Nothing makes sense anymore. Everything is a joke now. I'm like fucking, you know, The Beautiful Mind, when he's just like writing fucking jokes on the window. That's like me coming up for him. I'm like I'm trying to fucking reverse engineer a fucking Dave Chappelle joke. How did he do it? How the fuck did he? It's fucking crazy. He said too. He's like, we fixed it. Creek doesn't flood no more. He works at the Creek. He does comedy, yeah. And Ogre, he's like, oh, we're supportive down here. He's an Alabama comic.
All right, cool. Hell yeah, dude.
He's like, we're supportive. I'm like, yeah. He's like, obviously, if you're getting booked, Ogre, it's supportive. I love you, bro. I love you.
I know. I just hired that guy. And then it's easier to come up in smaller scenes because of less people. I'll say that's true. It's hard for anyone to build a New York audience. Also, I'm Mike Nicola. What's up? It's hard to build up a New York like local fan base because it is oversaturated for sure. Because like you see a lot of comedians who like crush it back home before they move to the city because you want to have a strong fan base. Like I feel like I have a strong fan base back in New England, but in New York, it's literally like people like to actually like engage like an audience or fans that live in New York who have time and money to come to your shows, very limited, because I'm like, I'll see like people who like they're big fans of me, but then like I'll reach out to them like a year later. I'm like, oh yeah, we left the city or something like that. I was like, all right, because me and like another producer, we talked about this recently in terms of comedy, because like producing shows in New York is like, because there's so much competition, it is hard. But we see like, and this is like how the comedy dynamic works. Like the biggest return for fans of like an independent show are you have young comics who are like, and I don't mean like new to the scene, but they're young in age. Like their friends are like below 25, still figuring out life. So they have free time to go to shows. Yeah, so they have free time to go to shows. And then you have the older comic generation where their fan base is, they're already established and they have free time. So anything in the middle is just hard to hit because like, and it's so quick to like lose an audience because of like bad comedy shows that previously happened, because people will like, they'll have comedians who will like attack or make fun of like the front row of audience members. I'm like, don't do that, please. Because I'm like, this is why, like, you know, that's why people don't want to see live comedy, because they don't want to be made the butt of the joke. But then, like, you know, some comedians only literally know how to engage audiences by being like, fuck you. Like, that's it.
Yeah. New York could do it to you, man. Those open mics in New York can make some people vicious. And it's funny, too, because, like, I'll be like, oh, I do comedy or whatever. I'm like, oh, I want to come to a show. It's like, but don't make fun of me, though. You probably make fun of me.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, I don't do that. I just tell my jokes. Like, oh, but if you want to make fun of me, you can, though. You know what you can say about me? I'm just like, the fuck? Like, now you want to be a part of my act? Like, don't make fun of me.
Now you're part of a two-man roast battle.
Yeah, now you're my writer.
No, I mean that happens too, because I definitely have friends. I have crazy friends who do crazy shit in front of me, and they're like, "Yo, use that in a joke," and I'm like, "Yo, first off, I have to explain why I'm friends with you, and then two, I have to explain who you are as a person, and then why this is funny." And I'm just like, I only got 5 minutes. Like, I'm like, that's gonna eat up 5 minutes right there.
Word.
Yeah.
I've had people, like, I had a drunk girl, like, tell me repeatedly, for I don't know how many times in the night, you know, you should use it as a joke. Like, it's like, no, for real. Like, you could do it. Like, Gio, I known you for years. And I shouldn't have said it was somebody I know that much. But, like, but anyway, it was like it was like pressuring me. She was like telling, no, you should do it. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I already know. I'm like, one, that's hack. And I don't want to tell her that because then I have to explain what hack is to her.
What hack is?
And it's just like, it's like it'd be like the most common shit. Like, oh, you want me to do a dick joke? Like, that's original. Like, I'll do a dick joke if I think, because I've heard so many. If I think, all right, this might be original.
Yeah, I mean, an original dick joke. I'm like, at this point, I'm like, an original dick joke. I'm like, I've only heard like a really original dick joke from like a trans comic. I'm like, that's hilarious. I'm like, it's because we've heard a guy say it. We've heard a girl say it. We haven't heard someone in transition saying it. I'm like, this is hilarious. I'm like, all right, you win. Boom.
They have the best. They have a whole different perspective on it. You know what I mean? Like, guys have it, and then women don't have it, and then transgender people like have it and are willing to get rid of it
in a different way. I mean? In a different way.
That's you know what I mean? Like, I look at it like when a kid's playing around too much, like if they're jumping around and moving too much, I kind of get like, whoa, easy there. You know what I mean? So to get that thing like surgically, you know, reversed or whatever, it's kind of it's a scary thing, you know, for me. So for them, like, they just might have like a whole original perspective on all of it.
Well, no,
you know?
I mean, like, that's like the thing. Like, if we're going to talk about hack, like, you know, having an original perspective is 100% like, you know, like what makes a joke not hack versus hack. Because I'm like, they're still good. Like, again, they're still good dick jokes. They're still like good, like, you know, like someone could write a pretty decent like knock joke if I thought about it. But I'm just like, someone could still write airplane jokes and like be original about it in their own way. And I'm like, I'll see that done. But like the thing is, like, I see a lot of like, one thing that I see definitely is hack now, or it's not even hack, but it's just like pandering, is you see a lot of comedians, they'll go on stage, I'm like, I have anxiety. And from that point, as soon as they say that, I'm just like, what makes your anxiety different from anyone else's that you're still listening?
Yeah. But yeah, I'm depressed, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like you hear voices, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
I
hear voices. Like, I hear your voice. Everybody hears each other's voices. That's how we speak. That's how we talk.
Yeah.
You know? I got in trouble for saying that in I think it was like they were doing a psychological test, whatever, in the county jail. And the lady's like, she's like, do you hear voices? I was like, yeah, I hear voices all the time. She's just like what? Like what other type of things to say? I'm like, I don't know. Like, they ask me questions like, do I hear voices? Like, I hear your voice right now. You don't hear mine? And dude, oh man. Yeah. I ended up in a suicide dress after that.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Hey,
for like 24 hours.
Wait. See, that's funny as hell. You're like, when does a joke go too far? I'm like, that time. I'm like, yo, this isn't an open mic, and now you're just like, all right, cool.
It's like an extra long fucking bulletproof vest with no underwear or socks, and you don't get no sheets, and the cold ass cell. I was in that shit for 24 fucking hours.
Oh shit! Damn.
It
That's wild.
might have been like a whole day and like 2 half days. Yeah. Joking around, and I was like, yo, I used it as a tag and this little joke, but I think it's such a cheesy joke that I was like, I don't want it, you know.
Yeah. That's fair.
I don't
That's
keep
fair.
using it, but like a lot of my jokes are shit that happened like in real life, and I was just like, how do I? And I just thought about it and like used to tell it as a story, and then
Yeah.
like said like a joke while I was telling the story, and I was like, oh shit, this is actual. I can maybe use it as a bit.
Yeah. No, I mean, well, yeah. Again, everything can be a joke. It's just like, can you make it relatable in 5 minutes or less?
Sometimes a minute.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like New York. One thing I will say about New York is it definitely makes you tighten your shit up. Because when you only got 3 minutes, you know, this is why I like doing those like 7-minute mics once in a while.
Yeah.
Because I'm long-winded and I need to get stuff out to figure it out. You know what I mean? Like just writing is not enough for me. I write on stage just as much. And like when you only got 2.5 to 3 minutes, you're like, all right, man, you know, I got to find a way to get more laughs within these 3 minutes. And that makes you tighter. It makes you more like, I'm like, all right, you know, all right, let me do more crowd work. Let me, you know, be more in the moment.
Well, see, like, those 3 minutes, like, those ones, like, you know, you don't really get a chance to, like, establish crowd work or connection. Like, that's why, like, especially, like, if anything, just go straight to the punchlines. But at the same time, like, you're not going to get actual, like, unless you have a comedian who's fully engaged at those 3-minute mics, they're kind of a waste because you don't get actual feedback on if the joke was funny because, like, yeah, you still got to, like, warm up because, like, I'll see comedians who go on, but they're friends with everyone in the mic. And they'll, like, literally crush within the first minute. And I'm just like, they didn't do anything. You just all like him.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
And I'm like, it's not stage presence because I'm like, you guys have seen him before. So I'm like, this is just, like, it doesn't help the people. But, like, the only reason I like doing, like, longer mics, like a 5-minute or 7-minute mic, not just storytelling, but it's the way that you stack jokes. Because I'm like, like, the biggest thing that I've seen now is you've seen me do sets, whenever I stack my jokes, like it's like a train of thought. So you have to keep the audience with you, and it's literally like you have to walk them. You have to grab the hand first, which is like, you know, you being like, oh hey guys, I'm a comedian, I'm gonna tell you some jokes, trust me, boom, build the rapport. But then you have to walk them through premise after premise after premise. And like when you have those 3 minutes, like the 3-minute mics, all you do is just bang out those quick jokes. Try to do crowd work and stuff like that. I'm like, it's such a waste.
Yeah. Well, my thing is like, because like I said, I have ADD, so like my crowd work would be like also trying to get feedback on a joke, like being more, asking more questions and stuff. You know, like, hey, what do you think? Because I see older comics do it, and I'm like, that's how they work out material. Like, because if you don't directly ask somebody, like, hey, call them out, like, hey, what do you think about? They're just gonna sit there and watch, like, oh, he's not talking to me. Yeah. I'm not gonna answer. I'm not gonna say anything. So I see a lot of older comics. They'll be like, they'll ask a question, they don't get feedback. They'll look at one person and be like, hey, you know, what have you done if you know if Trump would fucking grab you by the pussy? And then they get that like their response can help them with the tag because they say something, and then like if it turns into a funny moment, they can use it later on, and if it works again, it's just like, oh shit.
Like that's the thing, yeah. Well, I mean, that's just like predict. Like after that, like it's like if you can predict audience responses. That's like easy crowd work because I'm like you're gonna answer a question and you already know the answer that you're gonna get from the audience, so you can just keep going through it. Because I'm like, that's like there's a lot of obviously crowd work is like one of the most important aspects, and I'm like joke telling's fine, but I'm like you can only tell like really really messed up jokes if the audience trusts you.
I think you need a fan base or to be very seasoned. You ever heard of Greg Stone? You know Greg Stone?
Yeah.
I was watching one of his videos today, and he would lose the crowd saying some real crazy shit and still like plow through it and then just get him back like in a joke or two where like like that one joke, only like the people that didn't give a fuck laugh.
Yeah.
And then you see he'll keep going, and he's still just getting chuckles, and boom, he'll say something that kills. And then he loses them again saying dark shit, and then boom, like I'm just like,
yeah.
That comes from years of experience. Anybody else, like me, I know me personally,
Yeah.
I'll say something and I'm like, fuck, did I just lose him? I get in my
Yeah.
head. I'm like, is this next thing gonna work? Like,
Yeah.
like the confidence, I lose the confidence sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, so, well, I mean, half the time, like, again, like, I think that, you know, because, like, so many comedians, like, you know, like you've heard from audience members, like, there's so many people who are afraid of being picked on by a comedian. That's, like, a big one. So I think that, like, some of the best comedians can build rapport. And then some comedians can, like, you know, there's, like, people try doing Chappelle jokes, and I'm like, you're not Chappelle. You don't have the reputation. Like, that's, like, a pure Chappelle thing. Or, like, Jim Jeffries, offensive from the jump. But, you know, when you go to a Jim Jeffries show, you know what you're expecting. Like, that's it. Like, and, like, he's talked about, like, struggling and stuff like that. But I still think the best comedians, like, you know, you can engage the audience regardless of, like, reputation, where you're, like, you get that trust. Unless you're, like, at that level where you already, like, have a reputation, it's so hard to gain that trust. Because, like, the big thing now that I do is I'll tell a joke and, like, the subject matter won't hit, but then I know it's still funny, but then, like, I attack the reason why the audience isn't laughing.
Right.
And that somehow gets, like, a bigger laugh, because, like, if I do a joke about race, like, for the most part, most audiences don't want to laugh at a joke about race because they don't want to be racist. And I'm like, that's not how racism works. And then if you do a joke about, like, anything else like that, like, people will withhold it. Like, if I do a joke about relationships or, like, flaws in a relationship, my favorite thing is seeing couples in the crowd, and, like, the one dude laughs, the girlfriend hits the dude, and I'm just like, this is a clear, there's 100% truth in this joke, but it's making one side of the party uncomfortable because you guys haven't had that conversation yet. And I'm like, I know exactly why, but, like, that's it. Like, because I'm like, things are funny, but, like, anything can be funny if well written. But sometimes, like, you know, people feel themselves, like, if they don't laugh at that, it doesn't make it true, or doesn't, like, affect, or doesn't change things. I'm just like, it doesn't, because these are jokes, but at the same time, everyone takes things as such, like, especially live and in person, because, like, you know, everyone takes it to, like, such an upstanding, like, level.
Yeah. Like you said, like Jim Jeffries and them, those guys started in a different time. You know what I mean? Like, they're open minded, where you could get away with saying certain shit, and then when they got to a certain level, they're just like, all right, they just kind of kept pushing boundaries, but they had the audience for it. And then sometimes pushing those boundaries actually helped them, because now it just caused a little controversy around them, and then people are like, all right, let me see what this is about. What are they talking about? And then they go and see it, and some people are like, oh, this was actually funny. It's not. They might have gained a fan, you know, and then they only lose the people that just read the article and then make up their mind because of that article. They never go read that person. They look at the article and like, oh, that's a terrible person. Oh, that person sucks. And that's the type of person you don't want as a fan anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't want to associate with those kind of people anyway. So it's just like you're weeding out the people. And this is the same with social media. You know what I mean? When you have certain things that, like, you know, you're putting out to the public, a lot of people are either going to get offended, they're not, and I try not to get offended